right. Welcome everyone to our webinar, Get Business Moving, with tons of product and sales updates. My name is Anna Milan, Product Marketing Manager for Safetica. And so, as always, before we dive into the content, let's quickly go over a few house rules. I think some of you have noticed that we have a new go to app interface. So, if you want to ask questions, feel free to just click on that go to questions icon and submit your questions or type in your questions throughout the webinar. We will address and answer as many questions as possible during the Q&A segment at the end of this presentation. And of course, as common practice, this webinar is being recorded and the recording will be made available to all registered participants afterwards. I'm also excited to introduce our speakers, and you know who are true experts in the Safetica product and its latest developments. Joining us today are Jan Lakatosh, our Head of Product Management, and Lubosh Milan, Regional Sales Director for Safetica. Each of them brings a wealth of experience in data security, and they're here to share some incredible updates and insights that will help you leverage our solution to the fullest and, of course, get your business moving. And so, that said, let's have a quick look at the agenda. We have four main topics in our agenda today. We'll begin by celebrating the momentum we've built together since we launched the new Safetica, and I will be sharing some remarkable achievements. And then we will also take a look at some of the exciting new features we've added to our product, which will be presented by Jan. Following that, Lubosh will discuss key strategies to help you drive success as we approach the end of the year. And finally, we'll have an interactive Q&A session. So as I've mentioned, type in your questions throughout the webinar, but you can also ask any questions you have about the topics we've covered at the end of the presentation. So let's get started. It's been 5 months since we launched the new Safetica, exactly 5 months ago, back in April 11. And so it is only appropriate to start this webinar by celebrating some key business highlights that we've achieved, that you, our partners, have helped us achieve. So I want to kick things off with a key highlight, customer growth. And we are thrilled to report significant increase in our customer base over the past 5 months. And as you can see on the slide, we are averaging 73 new customers per month and 122 new customers in August alone. August has really been a milestone month for us. We've also reached a new milestone of over 5,000 customers in total. So what does this growth tell us? It really just reflects not only the value of our new solution, but more importantly, the hard work and dedication of our partners, the trust and confidence that our customers have placed in us. And as our CSO, Karen Mimieux, shared last year, this was a result of the focus that we've had this year. And our focus has really been on growing our presence, specifically in the US and Canada market, enhancing our partnerships, and providing that unparalleled support that Safetica is very well known for, and all of which have contributed to this fantastic result. Moving on to the next key highlight is business acceleration. So again, as we've unified our product portfolio back in April, we have also experienced tremendous momentum across our business operations. So we were not only improving our product, we were also optimizing our business operations. And this has been highlighted by the 40% growth in revenue compared to the same period in previous years. And so this growth has been fueled by, as I've mentioned, not only expanded product features, a unified product, but also streamlined processes, allowing us to scale more efficiently. And so as we continue to accelerate, we are better positioned than ever to deliver, and I'm very confident to say this, an innovative and an intelligent solution that meets the evolving needs of our customers. Finally, I want to touch on the growing adoption of our cloud solutions. Over the past 5 months, our team has been working very hard to develop a cloud offering that provides reliable protection, that integrates seamlessly into diverse workflows and data environments, and with an average 1 day deployment period. And so we are excited to report a strong uptake with 660 registered Safetica Cloud instances and 150 of them converting to paid subscriptions. So, this rapid adoption again demonstrates that our customers are increasingly moving to the cloud, and that these figures only highlight our commitment to delivering a product that drives value and ensures a smooth transition to the cloud. And again, we could not achieve these key business milestones without your support, without your hard work, and without your dedication. And so we also want to make sure that you have our support and that you have the knowledge and skills to get your business going. And with that, I would like to turn over the floor to Jan Lakatosh, our head of product management, to share with you the latest and greatest features of the Safetica product.
Thank you, Anna, and hello, everyone. So definitely we've come a long way since we did the official launch in the first half of the year. And today's product updates will be more about reminding you about all the new changes, new additions to the product, because we've been trying to develop the product rapidly to improve the user experience, to support more feature set, and to innovate on what we previously had available in the product. But before we go to the real changes in the product, there is a little reminder of certain dates that we've started communicating recently, and that might be a good thing to think about when you think back, seeing the new product updates and the new product changes and the roadmap. So let's get to it. We've started communicating end of life process or journey that we plan for Safetica 1, meaning the version 10 of the product that has been the primary one in the past, but no longer it is. So in order to be able to really talk about end of life for Safetica 1, we definitely want to pave a path for every customer to go to the new product, which we are developing very fast now. And there are a couple of things that we are already working on, are already done, or are planned in the near future to really prepare you and your customers to join us in the new product. So a recent thing we did a couple of weeks ago was migrating all Safetica Next environments to the new Safetica Cloud product. So now there is no more Safetica Next environments. Everybody has got the new product, and all the cloud customers that we have today are previous Next customers, as well as new customers that we are gaining this year. So this has already been done. Towards the end of year, we have a date of December 31st where we are ending the maintenance of Safetica 1. So we won't be pushing too many new updates to the old product. It will still work, shouldn't have any issues with existing feature set, but we will stop fixing minor bugs, and minor product changes will cease to be, and we will prepare for the final end of date that will be coming on June 30th next year. So in the half of next year, we will stop building the old product, and it will be conserved in a way. So it doesn't mean it cannot be used anymore. If there are customers who still prefer the old product or are not yet ready to migrate, the product will still work. However, we will not be able to do any more product changes because we want to streamline the development process. Today we are building and developing two products side by side, the Safetica 1 product and the new Safetica product. And in order to even improve our rapid pace, we want to focus on the new product and stop doing double development, and really make all the effort to make the new product best, rather than maintaining old product and old bug fixes. So this is the plan. And again, we don't want you to be worried about this. We want you to know that we are preparing a path for every customer to join the new product. Already all the customers, except for a couple of technical exceptions, should see the update to Safetica 11 if they are compatible and if they have a compatible version that allows them to transfer and are free to join us within the new version 11 product. So this applies to on-prem customers, and as I mentioned, cloud customers are already using the new product, getting updates every week. So we will definitely be supporting them going forward. Again, if you have any more questions about the end of life process, we prepared knowledge base articles that describe what is really happening, what every date means, and there are a couple of frequently asked questions answered for you on the knowledge base. You can find them easily if you go to support.safetica.com, or after you get these slides offline, you can visit the links that you can see on the slides. So again, this was just a little reminder. Hopefully you are aware of this. But again, this might be important to remember when we talk about all the features that have been added to the product and that we are planning, because if you still saw some blockers of getting customers to use the new product, many of them have been addressed or will have been addressed by the end of this year, I believe. So with this, moving forward to more specific things and good news, since April, when we launched the product officially, we did almost 600 product changes in the product, and we fixed around 120 customer issues that were reported by either partners or customers. So we really tried to address all the feedback that we've gotten, and we also tried to develop the product a lot. So the plan was to really launch something that is good, but make it good and better. And that's what we have been doing over the course of summer. And just to recap a couple of bigger things that we've added to the product, I prepared a little review. If you've been following the product updates, maybe something new will come up still, but this is just a reminder for those of you who didn't follow the progress so much and are not yet super aware about all the new features that we've added throughout summer. So these are updates that we've added since the launch date in April. At first, we added data address discovery, now available both on-prem and cloud. It's a completely new technology compared to the previous product. It's more optimized and works in a less intrusive way to the environment and the endpoints. So we still are receiving feedback and we want to address feedback. So if you haven't tried the new data address discovery, it's a great time to do that because we are collecting feedback and we want to action it by the end of year to improve the feature and make it even more usable. So that was one big addition. A lot of beta customers were asking about this, and we delivered this shortly after the launch in April. Another thing that we addressed partially for on-prem customers was adding shadow copy. So now it's possible to even download shadow copies and store shadow copies of incident files. And if you want to investigate, either see what actually left the company environment or investigate for false positives, now it's possible with the new product. If you are using the cloud version, this is not yet available. However, we are working on it. So for now, it's been added to on-premises version, which was more requested than the cloud version. But we are also working on the cloud version to make this possible. We will come back to this in the roadmap slide. We also addressed a long time thing for Mac users. Now we have native builds for macOS using the M1, M2, M3 chips. So we have native ARM support, and the client is deployed either as an Intel installer or an ARM installer, and this makes the client work even more flawlessly. It's more optimized, and it's got rid of some technical issues that we previously faced. Overall, in the summer, we focused a lot on the technical side of our Mac clients in order to improve the troubleshooting process and optimize how this works. So just being this native ARM support is a small part of the whole project that we are running, and we are preparing to address the macOS feature set very soon. We just needed to focus on the technical side at first. Another big request that was missing initially was exporting records from Safetica into an offline file. This was also added throughout summer. We covered almost all the views that are available in the product, and now you can export records into XLS files. This again addressed many of the previous pain points with limitations of rows available. So now you can export up to 1 million rows into a single XLS file. again, the XLS file is optimized to look in the same way you see it in the product. So every column is the same. Visible columns are included, invisible columns are not included. We put a lot of work into it so that it makes sense. It's a simple feature, but it works as you would expect. Another big project that we were doing over the summer was improving the user experience, because we had a lot of feedback about initially released feature set, which was not great. So we tried to focus on improving the device management view, where now you can do more actions with endpoints. There is a more comfortable way to filter them. You can export the device list in case you want to work with it offline. And one big topic that we really addressed was data destination management. It wasn't ready to be scaled into large environments, but now with a lot of new additions, we actually addressed many pain points. And based on the initial feedback that we are getting, the changes are very welcome. And this actual point we will go into detail in a couple of minutes, so don't worry. If you don't really know what this is about, or if you have a specific question about data destination management, I will show you the specific changes and examples of what we've improved in a few moments. What we also have been working on gradually is protecting new Outlook. You hopefully are aware that Microsoft is updating their Outlook application on the desktop with a new Outlook application. This is available for Windows. The Mac application looks slightly different, but it's also modern. And they also share the same code base with the Outlook for Web application that you can run in the browser. So we now have support for this, and it falls into the picture, in the bigger picture, with cloud protection. So this is again something I will talk about in more detail in a few moments. Just wanted to remind you that we are already addressing this. We know it's been frustrating that we didn't support the new Outlook, and some companies were hindering the new Outlook enrollment because of Safetica. So hopefully this addresses the point, and you will be able to use the new Outlook application freely. And finally, one new addition that you may have noticed on the cloud version of the product is something that we call Admin Center. It's a new view that aims to consolidate and simplify the entire user experience of Safetica. For now, it's available on cloud. We are at the very beginning of this project. It's very ambitious, and we want to focus on it a lot in the upcoming weeks. And after we are comfortable with how it looks and how it works, and we incorporate the cloud customer feedback, we will also make it available for on-prem. So again, it's mentioned as a cloud exclusive for now, but within the roadmap, you will see that we will want to focus on it and introduce it in on-prem too. And the items marked in bold, shadow copy, data destination management, new Outlook, and admin center are things that I want to talk about more closely so that you can actually relate and understand what these really mean. So let's get to it. So shadow copy is something that you want to have when a file or a piece of data leaves your environment and an incident occurs, and you want to understand what really happened. You would like to see the actual copy of the file that was gone, that was leaked, that was transferred somewhere. For these cases, you can use shadow copy that you can turn on in policies. So every time a policy is activated or used somewhere, it creates a copy of the file that is involved in the incident. And after this, the file is stored on the endpoint. When the administrator wants, they can click on a detail like you can see on the screen, and with a single button, you can download the copy. It will be downloaded from the endpoint to the server, and then from the server, you can download it to your own computer for further investigation within the next 7 days. This follows the same process as was available in Safetica 1. However, we tried to make the user experience a little bit more user-friendly and simplified. Based on the initial feedback, it works as expected, and people enjoy the simplicity of it. So we will follow this, and basically the user experience will be retained on cloud. The same feature will be made available to cloud soon. But again, if this was a blocker for a customer to adopt the new product, now it's available, and we really encourage the customers to try the new shadow copy feature because it's easier to use than it was before. The big user experience update that we focused on was data destination management, and we had really specific feedback about what was wrong, what was not good enough. So we tried to address it. So one a big thing that was added was ability to manually add new destinations. So here you can see an example, me adding new websites defined into data destinations. I can add these into either trusted or untrusted column, or I can add them to a specific group. And I no longer need to wait until someone uploads a file to Dropbox. I can simply say Dropbox.com should be defined, and anytime someone uploads a file to Dropbox, it should behave in a certain way. This is available for email addresses and domains, for websites, website URLs, and for network paths. Previously, we also had USB devices and maybe printers available in Safetica 1. We haven't included these yet because based on feedback, these were the three most pressing things that customers wanted to define themselves. You can still define USB devices and printers as they are used, as they are detected by Safetica endpoints. So this was one addition. Hopefully this unblocks a lot of use for data destination management. Another thing that we've added was the adding a little bit more detail for the unassigned items. So here you can list of unassigned items that were detected by Safetica, and now you can easily see how many times the actual destination was used in the company, who was the user that last tried to transfer data to this destination, and when the last transfer occurred. So this gives you more insight into what is really happening. And actually we sort these data destination based on use. So the recent ones will be on top and the older ones will be on the bottom, so that you can really take a look at the top of the list. You see the biggest problems, the biggest transfers that are happening to unassigned destinations, and you can easily move them somewhere. Along with that, you can see on the screen it's possible now to multi-select several destinations and choose to move them or remove them. And now it's also possible to take a destination and move it back to unassigned in case you want to. Maybe previously Microsoft was a safe destination for you. No longer it is the case. You can simply drag it and drop it back to unassigned if that's what you prefer. So hopefully this addresses many of the feedback that we received. Again, the usability is very important to us. So this was something that we actioned based on the feedback. We collaborated with specific customers on it. And with this, I just want to encourage you to really send the feedback about the new product, because we are trying to focus on the user experience and the real issues, and we want to fix them as we go forward. So it's not only about adding new feature set, we really want to add usability to the product as well. And moving on to new Outlook. So what we are enabling now is protecting new Outlook, which is desktop application on Mac and on Windows. And also we can now protect within the web interface of Outlook.com. So here is a little screenshot of how it looks like when Safetica blocks something. But now we are able to support user notifications. We can support devices without Safetica clients, or if previously someone was using the web interface and not all the information inserted into emails through the web browser were protected, now we are covering more ground. And again, this is still work in progress, so it's not complete. Some use cases are supported, others are less supported for now, but the cloud team is focused on improving the Outlook integration even further. And even though this is available now, it can be turned on with the Microsoft 365 integration settings. We will be adding more and more functionality to it and improving the support of various applications. If you have been beta testing this with us, we definitely improved on the state within the few couple of weeks or months. We had issues with Mac desktop application. We had issues with some web browsers like Firefox, but we are addressing all these gradually and improving the way it works. So even if you were not happy with the progress within the beta, I believe we have improved on it a lot, and it's a good time to try the integration again because we've invested a lot in it throughout the summer. To imagine how this really works, I have a little video for you to see. So here I have Outlook and a web browser opened where I'm composing an email, and it's all done within the browser. So Safetica endpoint client is not needed for this to work. So let's see how this works in practice. I'm composing an email. I'm sending some data within this email. I did this all in a web browser. And if I try to send the email, let's see what happens. Our integration is checking the email, and I got a message that this is blocked, but I can override it. So this is an example of a configuration where I allowed the users to override the blocking. And you can see that after I inserted justification of why I'm actually sending the email, I was able to send it. Again, if I set up the policy to strictly block something, it would be blocking everything. But this is a case of override policy being in action. So I actually have a possibility to provide a reason. I choose a reason category. I insert my justification. And after I have this, I can send the email even though it was previously blocked. Hopefully you can imagine this working. This is an example from a web browser. It would work the same way in the Windows application. The Mac application looks a little different, but process-wise it works the same, so there would be no surprise. Hopefully this covers a little bit more ground with Safetica, and it makes a couple of feedbacks addressed. Let's see one final time before we move on. Again, I inserted justification, and now the email is sent. And here I would like to recap what is actually available within cloud protection in Safetica, because cloud protection is a big topic with new customers and even existing customers. I've joined a lot of calls where we discuss this topic specifically over the past few months. And sometimes we do things that may be unnoticed. So I just want to recap what is now available within the new Safetica product and what you can expect when you integrate it with Microsoft 365. So the three big security things that we can address are Microsoft Exchange, where we are able to see emails sent from any device, meaning if I send an email from my mobile phone, or I send an email from a web browser, or I send an email from my desktop computer because it's allowed from my home computer because it's allowed in my company, even when the Safetica client is not there directly, with the new integration we can see the emails and we can take action against them in case something needs to be blocked. And again, this is the part which the new Outlook integration supports. So Outlook integration makes it possible to block emails, to notify emails, and to enforce override, as you could see on the video. Without this, we were only able to audit emails and maybe see if something was sent even though it shouldn't have been sent. But now with the new integration, we can cover the web and desktop applications seamlessly and able to actively protect outgoing information. What is missing, and I want to stress this because it's missing, probably there would be questions about this, we don't support blocking and active protection on mobile devices at the moment. Microsoft doesn't have APIs that we could use on mobile applications, so that's still something that we need to address, but the desktop applications are covered, and maybe the mobile use can be managed by Intune or some other ways. So it can be a discussion that we have together. In case you have feedback, you have questions, feel free to approach us because it's an active discussion we've been having with many customers. We are trying to understand their setup. Every setup is very different, very unique, and we want to find a universal solution that works best for everybody. So this is the email part. With the Exchange integration, we get visibility. With the Outlook integration, we even get active protection. And finally, we also have SharePoint coverage, and SharePoint means SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, Office Online, and all the Microsoft applications that are storing data in cloud. So this SharePoint integration allows us to see what is happening in the cloud, what kind of files are shared, what kind of files are used and moved. And you can also control sharing. So we have means of controlling how files are shared. Again, it's a slightly different logic than blocking, because when you have a cloud file, you don't really take it and move it somewhere else. You simply have it in cloud and you share it with someone. So that's the part that we can protect. We can check how files are shared. And in case there is a violation of how sharing should be set up, we can unshare the files, either automatically or there is a manual button in the product that allows the administrator to unshare a file on demand as requested. So this is what we cover security-wise from cloud side. With Microsoft 365, we have even like deeper integration. We integrate with the Microsoft tenant to read user identities, to synchronize security groups. So there is even more behind that we do, but these are the important pieces that can make a difference when you have a discussion with a customer about what Safetica can achieve in cloud. And finally, the final addition, a recent addition to the product, the Admin Center. In case you haven't seen it yet, this is how it looks in the product. It's very simple at the moment. And what you can see on the screen are just sample demo data because we are still testing this. But the ambition here is very big. What the admin center aims to be is one consolidated place where the administrator comes and takes care of actionable tasks. So every row that you can see on the screen should be an actionable thing that I can somehow resolve. So for example, the first event I can see here is a blocked external device. Alfred connected his Samsung phone and it violated a policy. Maybe this is something I want to report to Alfred's manager. Maybe it's something that I want to change in the policy setting. Maybe it's something that I want to action from the side of the phone. Maybe I want to move Samsung S24 into company devices so that this is no longer blocked. But it's actually an event that can trigger an operation. So this is the logic behind Admin Center. Everything that I see here should be a thing to be resolved. What is missing is a lot. We want to have details to investigate. We want to have more robust severity detection. We also want you to be able to set up a status for every of these rows. So let's say I will set the first row as in progress or in investigation, and I will close it afterwards so that I know I have resolved it somehow. So there is a lot of investment that is still going into Admin Center, and we would like you to be part of our journey because we put this into the cloud product so that we really see the real life use. We want to understand how this is helping already, how it's not helping yet, how customers imagine this being developed further, because the ambition is big. We would like to make this the centerpiece of the program so that every time you visit Safetica, you start here. You do most of your investigation from this single view, and only if you need to go do a deep dive, you visit all the other parts of the product where you have detailed logs, you have detailed configuration. But here you have the digest that is most important and the digest that you can take care of immediately here from this view. So that's the ambition. In case you would like to learn more, definitely approach us. We also plan some marketing communication in the upcoming weeks and months that will show you the progress that we do with Admin Center and how Admin Center falls into our smarter or more intelligent product vision that we are building. But now it's already in the product and we are happy to learn about your feedback. If you have specific questions, maybe we can come back to them in the questions part of today's webinar, but let's see that in a few moments. And finally, a little glimpse at the plans that we have, because what I've shown you is something that you can already see in the products, both on-prem and cloud, except for the exclusives. But what we are planning to do next, we are investing into Admin Center a lot. We are testing it with users. We are prototyping and doing some planned development. So that's something that will be definitely a focus in the upcoming weeks. We are also working on another part of an intelligent security product that's dynamic data policies that would work a little smarter and a little more automatically than what you know today. We are also working on shareable layouts that I can save. Maybe I prefer some filters, I prefer some view, I want to group records and store them for later. You will be able to save them and share them with other administrators, similar to what you had in Safetica 1. We are also working on shadow copy for Safetica Cloud, so even though what you saw today is only available on-prem, it's coming to cloud very soon. We are also revising our file content classification technology so that it's more optimized, it runs with better performance, and it covers more file types and more cases. We are also preparing customizable reports because the new reports are very basic and we know that they are not enough. Customizable reports are coming and they will be definitely in the product by the end of this year. You will be able to choose what you want to send to our email and how the reports should look like. And one more thing that we would like to cover this year is admin audit. so that you have a list of things that every Safetica user did and who changed settings, when they changed the settings, what really changed, and how it affected the configuration. We want to cover these use cases. If you have feedback, please come to us because right now we are collecting all the inputs and we will be starting the development shortly. So now is the best time to talk about the use cases you have in mind for admin audit. And with this, I end the presentation. Definitely the roadmap continues, but we can talk about it on different sessions. But with this, I hand the word to Lubos, who will tell more about sales and some recommendations for sales side. Thank you.
Thank you, Anko, for amazing insights about the product and sharing with us the roadmap. So exciting things to see forward. As you mentioned, I would like to share with our esteemed partners how to leverage the new product feature updates and improve product in general for their commercial success. So let me start with this short sales training for you. Maybe highlighting, we've seen from Jan a lot of great features that been added since April, but there are probably just two that resonate very much with our customers in discussions and are actually top of the use cases globally. So let's start with the first, data address discovery. Why is this important? Let's start with statistics. For the large organizations, meaning those that are having at least 200, 300 and more users, this is simply the most important feature to have, as confirmed with our global statistics. And it is important also for smaller companies. But why? Firstly, if companies are looking at the overall cybersecurity or information security, they have to comply with a lot of regulations, contractual obligations that they have with their customers, and even norms that they have applied in the organization. Hence, the larger organizations are more keen to look at this topic. Data address discovery addresses something what is in cybersecurity the most important. As if you know, if we have a cybersecurity incident, oftentimes, if not almost close to 100% of the times, it's related to data, a data exfiltration or data passage to some adversaries, and or, which is interesting, is that it is being mishandled by insiders. So a person that is working within the company or contractor that was allowed to work within the company. So why data address discovery? Many times across Latin America, US, EMEA, and APAC, we have first and foremost obligation of companies, mid and large ones, but also small ones, to safeguard the personal information. This is already available across almost all the countries globally. We may have CCPA in California, we may have GDPR overall in Europe, and many others popping up in Middle East and Asia, for example, to protect the personal information. But when we talk about financial industry, health industry, and others, these regulatory requirements work with data that has to be protected. And to start with protection of the data, you need to discover them. Before, Safetica allowed the discovery of the data through actions. So people were sharing the files, exporting files, downloading files, and so on. Now the data address discovery addresses any type of data, even addressed. So you have a comprehensive view to the data usage and data available for use for any person inside of the company and outside. So this is important first step. And on top of that, of discovering the data, companies really need to act. And they act for many different norms or frameworks and or regulations with certain cybersecurity solutions or measures. One of those may be implementing the encryption of those files or data that has been discovered. They need to implement access controls with, for example, identity and access management. They need to also implement and or perform regular audits on the access of these files. Excuse me. So DLP or Safetica provides the first initial step for them to be able to do security, other cybersecurity or information security activities on top of that. Besides that, as you already know, and just a reminder, many of the norms, for example, NIST or ISO 27000 has explicitly commented about data and data protection, and ISO 27000 as information security management system, specifically also data loss prevention. And it all starts with assessing the risks. And just to remind you, risk assessment usually is based on the most valuable assets, which all again goes back to it is most of the time data, digital data that is available for use inside the company. So please highlight this as one of the discussion points with your customers through these points, whereas it is explicitly data loss prevention or data security, but also for other concerns within the regulatory or norm requirements. Second, and I think Jan was previously during this webinar very clear about the importance of the cloud protection addition to our product. As you know, Safetica as endpoint DLP is no longer endpoint DLP. We protect data on cloud. This is a huge change in perspective, and especially when you think of the customers globally in terms of the productivity tool set. Microsoft 365, which is practically the cloud protection within the Safetica, is the most used productivity software out there. And while we had some previously cases where we were protecting Microsoft environment and or monitoring the environment, based on the information from Jan in previous slides, you see that this is becoming more and more comprehensive. And so for Microsoft users, whereas Microsoft environment holds the most important, the most sensitive data they had their employees and contractors has most access to, and the most incident happen in, this is really important to highlight and mention during the conversations with the customers. Specifically, we prepared for you also one pager, how Safetica provides protection of the cloud. And technically it was explained by Jan, but for you to get a little bit more insights, companies now are available to monitor audit data related to Microsoft 365, and they are able to not only log it or monitor it, but take protective actions, so blocking or unsharing and similar. What is interesting is that because this is not a technology that relies on deploying agents on endpoints, we now can, for users that are connecting to the cloud environment, even without endpoint or without any software installed on their devices, be also monitored and be also protected, or the data on the cloud protected from the either malicious or accidental exposures of this data. This brings me to the topic where some of the customers may have Linux devices, mobile devices, and they have been requesting in the past to have mobile DLP or DLP available for Linux users. Most of the time, what they refer to is their main use case protecting their main environment, which is Microsoft, whereas the, people are connecting from multiple devices to handle the data within the Microsoft environment. So this tremendously extends the scope and coverage and cybersecurity measure for your customers. So please remind your customers about this option within Safetica. I will continue about the other top use cases. This is very valuable for you. And these are the global statistics gathered within the last year from our partners and customers. Specifically, this was partner-based inquiry and survey. And it's important for you to know because you have only a few seconds or minutes to discuss specific data security with your customers before you move on to other topics. And so addressing the most requested use cases and the most desired features for the customers to have it is better for you to focus on top use cases because you know you have a better chance to pick an interest within your customer, point contact. So top 5 global on the left side, of course, protecting sensitive and business critical data, whether it's a regulated data by regulations and norms, and or sensitive data like contracts, engineering drawings, uh, maybe some financial reports or business critical plans. These data or protecting the sensitive data has been always the topmost use case for everybody. So of course, we see that major problem for the companies is actually they do not know what they have. And that links back to data address discovery that we can help you and your customers to leverage to see what they actually have before they use that information. Very often cases that the sensitive file has been using for some project and stayed on the endpoint and or some other device and has been sitting there for a long time, undiscovered and unused for a long time until such time that somebody discovers and attempts to use it, share it, which is breaching the security policies. So please use this as a topmost topic when discussing with customers. And surprisingly, maybe for many of you, but insider risk management generally or insider threats is really coming up as a second in line of most discussed and most desired use cases. And not only generally understand what are the risks associated with my users, and how my users are using the files generally. So this is the data security or information security pointed to users and their trusted employees or trusted employees of your customers. So please take this topic as a second in your importance and definitely open the questions with your customers regarding this. The typical question would be, would you like, as a customer, would you like to know who from your workforce or your contractors are exposing the most business sensitive and or regulated data, which puts your company into potential trouble in the future. By understanding who in the company, you get quite a lot of security risk diminished. Third one, gain data visibility. I talked about it earlier. It's related to data visibility, not only of data address, but data in use, which was heavily discussed before. And the last two, so protecting company data when employees leave and maintaining data security for remote workers. This is somehow related to point two, identifying the insider threats. So again, it just highlights the importance of maintaining the data security of people that you trust or your customer trust the most, which are employees, whether they leave, whether they work from home, or whether they are commonly using files that probably they are not even aware are highly sensitive. Moving on to assist you in how to develop the business. So over from use cases to potential activities, whether marketing or sales activities, to develop your business with your customers. We have been sharing with our partners probably 16 to 18 options of how to generate the leads, how to generate new opportunities within your customer base and our potential new customers. Here, I want to highlight seven of them that happen to be most successful throughout the year and invite you to leverage on having the option from Safetica as your trusted vendor to generate these new business opportunities. First of all, we welcome on-site and or webinar-like or digital activities with your customers. We invite you to you leverage our already existing assets to promote security assessment as a free service and or paid service. It depends on you on existing concerns regarding data security of your customers. So security assessment also discovers many pressing questions and or answer many pressing questions of your customers. What data do I have that I have to protect and I didn't know about it? what are the top insiders, so my employees that are mishandling the information within my company, and many others. Since this is a very simple service and is part of the automated report within the Safetica environment, it doesn't require much of the effort from customers and from you to generate, but is a very welcome as an entry point for those customers that do not appreciate yet data security. They do not know the impact of not having it, but also those that are not yet allocating budget for it, as they didn't find it important topic. Once seeing what's happening inside of their company with their sensitive data and users, they may change their mind. So this is a powerful option how to increase the chances for you to have customers acquiring your services and solution from Safetica. Next one is product bundles. It had been in the place for many years, but recently we re-energized these campaigns and many of them were successful. We've seen that specifically EDR solutions bundled with DLP, and you know that there are probably 4 or 5 EDR vendors. Most prominent globally, of course, ESET, Kaspersky, Malwarebytes, Bitdefenders do not have the DLP option within the EDR solutions. So this is the best to combine. Other technologies that happen to be great as a bundles are also the data backup and recovery, but also, for example, bundling the Safetica as is in a service portfolio. So when you provide managed security services or security services, providing consulting to your customers, helping them to drive their IT changes, precisely leveraging the product bundles and or service bundles will help you to gain more trust and provide more value to your customers. We have many email marketing options, and or we invite you also to comment and use the G2 and Gartner peer reviews to provide a review about Safetica. This is specifically important for all your regions because your comments and reviews may be in local language, and many of the customers would really go as first to the global review or global review sites to take the first filter of who will be their trusted vendors to or optional vendors to discuss about data security at first. We offer incentives for having these product reviews, so you can take advantage of that and prepare the best conditions for you in your respective countries. Lastly, but not the least important, sales and technical trainings on-site or online. We are really keen to continue providing the trainings, whether it's sales or technical, for you to leverage all the new changes in product and be more successful commercially. Moving on, regarding the most important topics regarding renewals, we want to share with you a great success about renewal calls that our team, customer success team, had earlier this year. Statistically, we are at 97.5% success rate, meaning the customers we get in touch with, only one out of 40 roughly, were not renewing after this call with Safetica experts. So why we recommend not only on Safetica side but also on your side to be in touch for reviewing the environments of your customers before you send renewal quotation to your customers, is because it highly increases the chances of successful renewal, but oftentimes more than that. So we recommend to do it 3 to 6 months before renewal, as we do it with our joint customers. Customer success team in Safetica focuses on 100 plus users, customers that are more important commercially. But we invite you to do it also for customers of smaller size. And these calls, renewal calls, usually happen to be 30 minutes of duration. Lastly, for renewal calls, just quick reminders. you as organization, even if the customer success team gets in touch with you to have these calls with the customers of higher importance, retain full control of the customer communication and customer services that you provide to them. So for example, if your security service is based on Safetica as a product, customer success team of Safetica is not there to replace this or remove the importance or commercial importance of your services for your customers, rather than increase significantly the chance of upgrading, upselling, or easily renew your Safetica products. Second, you will be communicated, or you will receive the emails from our customer success team through support@safetica.com, and we invite you to actually respond to these emails when there's a request to get in touch with your customers to do renewal calls, as these significantly improves the speed on and experience overall for you and for your customers. Lastly, these for renewals. So for the cases where previous years we had discounts, we invite you to not forget that in the discussions when you provide a discount to customers, to let them know that the discount is a specific benefit for that specific case for them, and they should be thinking of increasing their budget for upcoming renewal dates or years. With this, I finished the commercial part. Hopefully it was useful for you, and we have 4 minutes left for the presentation and this webinar. So let's start with Q&A. Anna, over to you.
All right, I think we have time for a couple of questions. I will just quickly read through them. Okay, we have one question here. Do we have integration on FortiGate and SIEM into the new Safetica?
So a question probably for me, related to SIEM, there is definitely already integration within the on-premises product. It retains the functionality of the old SIEM integration that you know from Safetica 1. For the cloud product, that's not available at the moment, but again, as I mentioned, Admin Center, it is aimed to also be improved and extended into SIEM integration. So that's coming for cloud. Once we have it for cloud, we will also modernize it for the on-prem. As regards FortiGate, that's a complicated topic, so it depends what parts you are asking for. It's not available at the moment. Some parts we will make available, others not. If you have FortiGate specific questions, please let us know, because there is a difference between the security certificate integration and between the DLP sensor integration. So that's a complicated topic, probably not for this meeting.
All right, moving on to the next question. As far as we know, the feature Microsoft SharePoint with sharing canceled or with unsharing will take about 5 to 10 minutes to be available on web browser SharePoint user. And so this takes too much time to protect the file. It is not immediately as on endpoint. Can you confirm this, Jan?
Yes, there is a delay, definitely. I'm not sure if it's 5-10 minutes, but there is a slight delay. However, if you set up policies, and you can set up policies to be automatic, you can like take action after this has occurred automatically. It's not needed for you to wait until a log is there and you need to unshare it manually. Like immediately as we know something has been shared, we can unshare it. You have a log about it, and you can go ahead and investigate while the sharing has been cancelled. So there is an automated process that can address this.
All right, and maybe one last question again related to Safetica Cloud Protection. Can you clarify again what actions Safetica cannot do for Outlook protection as far as mobile devices are concerned? I only know that the blocking feature is not supported.
Basically, blocking notification override is not available for the mobile application, as we can only audit what is happening. The audit has already been there, but the new Outlook support that I showed you today, it's not added for the mobile applications because it's technically not yet feasible. So we still see emails sent from mobile devices. We still have information. We can create a log of incident operation from it, but we cannot notify or block the email from mobiles yet.
All right. And we did run out of time. So again, guys, if you have feedback, please email us at feedback@safetica.com. If you have questions regarding the product, kindly send them over to product@safetica.com. We do value your comments, your feedback, as we improve our product. Again, there are a lot of questions coming in, and unfortunately, we ran out of time. But we will make sure to have these answered during our or in our follow up email. We will also send you a copy of the presentation deck again, so you can use it to share with your own resellers and partners. Again, thank you very much, and I hope this webinar has helped you with insights, with knowledge to be successful and to get your business moving this 2024. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.